I've been reading this book by a chap called Bob Volman. There's a couple of things I like about the book. It's a scalping book, which is something I'm fairly interested in. But more than that, when he talks about the ways to trade, he talks also about the psychology. So rather than have to read a whole chapter on psychology and forget it, as you're going through the trades, he talks about the psychology of them, and through each strategy or method or setup that you're learning about, you're also learning about a little bit of psychology at the same time, which is really good actually. But anyway, what I wanted to show you was how sort of it works, not how the book works. I'm going to show you the book and things like that, but basically how to get the tick bars on your MT4. This is the book we're talking about here, this one with the orange cover. I'll drop a link to this in the description, although I'm not sure it'll apply to anybody in America, but if you click it, and then you can maybe at least see the book. But anyway, this is the book we're talking about. Whether you go to whatever, I couldn't find it in an ebook format, which would have been, I don't know, actually, do you know what, I'm quite enjoying reading the book. Having the tangible thing in your hand is different. And it's easy to flick back pages when you, because there's a lot of chart reference in it, so you keep going back. And now he uses Pro Real Time, which is not that popular in spite of how good it is, and one of my brokers does supply it, but I'm not using that broker at the minute. So I thought, well, I want to do it with MT4, which is where one of my higher leverage accounts is, so that I can just test out this whole scalping thing with some real money. Right, so what I needed to do was I'll just walk you through what I've done, what I do rather. So basically what you do is you get a 1 minute chart, and by the way, this only refers to euro dollar because that's all this guy trades. That's all he recommends trading anyway. I'm sure he probably does trade other ways, but in here. And so off FX Blue, and I'm also going to drop a link to FX Blue, which is to this, which is the FX Blue tick charts, and it's free. You'll have to register, don't worry, they don't spam you or anything like that. So it all worked out for me anyway. So anyway, all you do is you get this, once you've installed, there's like a whole installation routine, and you've got this one, these are other ones that I've used in the past, but here you've got the FX Blue custom time frame generator. So what you do is you drop this in to a 1 minute chart, and then you get these settings. Now in this instance we don't want seconds, so we'll set that to 0. What we want is ticks, and for the Bob Volman method it's 70 ticks. I do know that 233 ticks is very popular, but what we're interested in is 70 ticks. And then just for continuity I just put 70 there as well, which is the offline period. And what this will do is create an offline file. Now what I do here is I set this to true, continue an existing file, and I'm going to talk more about this because every now and then this will just stop drawing candles. So what I tend to do is in a downtime period I just reset it, and what you do is you do that, set it to false, and then set it back to true, so that if you did happen to close down in the day by accident, as you open it back up everything's still there. Whereas then at the end of the day I just do that and reset it, because it's about every 2 or 3 days I've noticed that it must just run out of place to put the bars. I don't know. Anyway, that's all you need to worry about. 70 and set this to true so it'll continue. Now what this will do is draw all this here, of course. As it's ticking, let's just see if we can get a bit more information on here. Yeah, it just tells you that it's generating it really, and I just move this over here. Now, tick chart and the 1 minute chart are not that far apart most of the time, but they are when it counts, if you know what I mean. There's subtle differences, which are described in his book anyway. The reason that you want the subtle differences are described in there. So while this is on here, we're not trading on here, nothing like that. So then what we do is we go to File, Open, Offline, and then in here, shortly we need to get 70 ticks to get the first bar, then it will have created the file. So we just need to wait for 70 ticks on the euro dollar, which shouldn't take long. As you can see, it ticks fairly regularly. We could have probably several seconds. But this book I'm finding quite interesting. You might like it, you might not. It's only of interest if you're into scalping. Other than that, this tick chart could be useful if you're into tick charts, full stop, really. Now, I've only ever run it on 70 ticks because that's what I'm doing at the moment. But I do know there's a 233 ticks out there somewhere. How many ticks do you think we've had? Are you counting? I've lost count. Let's just see if it's there. Open offline. So there it is. So we've got the file then, which is M70, so it's like 70 minutes, but actually it's ticks, of course. I've cleaned up, there'll be loads of files in yours probably, but I've cleaned them all out to avoid confusion. So just click on open that, and this is what it looks like. Now, as you can see, it's got no history, and it's not worth trying to create history because it's just pointless. So what you'd have to do now is, this is why I say you need to set it like either an hour before or the night before. Just leave it ticking and building up some kind of history. I can't really show you what it's going to... Well, as it ticks away, it doesn't look any different to another chart anyway. And then the other thing that Bob Volman does is he adds a 20 period moving average. So if you went indicators, trend, moving average, and then he puts I'm a big fan of the 55, but he puts a 20 EMA in. Let's just make this a nice light colour so you can see it. So now there isn't 20 bars, so you won't see it. But that's all it is really. And the thing to do is, what I've actually done is I've saved tick charts 1 and 2. Now 1 is they got this EA in it, and 2 is the template once I've created it on here. Once I've added the things that I want, which is the 20 EMA mostly to follow this book. That's the thing I need. So that's about it. Do you know, I could go on for ages about this video, but there's no real need. You see the candles are building now. So every time there's been 70 of these ticks, this will put a candle in. And if you want to know how to do the strategy, you're best off reading the book rather than asking me. And you might learn a bit about psychology. I'm only about just over a third of the way through the book, and so far I'm into it. And I had to get these. It took me a while to figure out how to do this. So anyway, look at the bottom of this. Look in the description. You'll find a link to the book if you can want to have a look at it. And you'll find a link to the FX Blue. You'll need to sign up for the FX Blue. And I'm not sure how the book will work out if you're in the States, but you know, it's there. It's there. So just have fun. So right now I'm off to I'll do a bit of window shopping. I've got myself a big bag of bricks so I can help myself to a few Lamborghinis out there, and bring a couple home. Might get you one if you're good.